Hello everybody, Demon Red Mist here. Um, would you believe, after doing all of these recordings, I've only just realised that if I put my phone on the table that I've been using as a workbench for the last 4 months, my camera don't shake. Anyway, right, last video I mentioned that I'd got a varnish on the second set of drawers, and I've not been able to do much recently, so I've not been well, and I've been sorting out changing the car, or changing my dad's car, which has caused me a lot of stress, to be honest. And well, let's put it this way, I'm either very ill and not willing to accept it, or I was stressing a hell of a lot more than I was letting on, because I had blood in my shit for about 3 days running. Now I know that that is not a good situation to be in, but it wasn't like I was shitting blood. It was more as if there'd been a cut or something. But either way, it wasn't pleasant. So basically what I've decided to do is, now that the car is sorted out and swapped over, I'm trying to spend as much time as I can in the car. There's half a chance my parents might walk in any second. If they do, I'll be stopping talking. They're out at the moment. Yeah, so spend a bit of time in the new car to try and see if that relieves some stress, any anxiety about the new car. And if I don't have any further problems, then I'll be a man and I'll ignore it. But if problems do persist, then sorry, somebody's getting absolutely frazzled from the bug trapper. Yeah, if anything persists, then I'm going to have to get into the doctors. But I'm hoping it is just stress, because I do know that when I get stressed, I do get stomach problems. Why it is, I don't know, but I am aware as well that stress can do that. It can cause you stomach problems. My oldest brother, he was the same, or is the same, although he ended up getting pancreatitis or pancreatic cancer, nearly died from it as well. And that is something I've been concerned about, whether I may get that or may have that or may get that as well. But I have spoken to my doctor about that previously. So yeah, my grandma, she suffered from it. I was talking to my dad about a year or so ago, and he was saying that, yeah, my grandma was a nervous shitter. Basically, not nerves and stress. Basically, you end up with stomach cramps and end up having the shits, constantly feeling like you need to go to the toilet, and either you got the shits or nothing's happening, but you constantly feel like you need a shit. And it's not a nice situation to be in. And I know a few other people as well that are similar. I know James, for example, is a friend of ours. I know when he gets stressed, he has problems. So yeah. The thing is, obviously I was aware that it could be stress, so I did try and obviously ease the stress by getting out of doing normal things, or like my day-to-day things of staring at the same four walls. And it's one of the reasons why today, it's not Monday today, it's Friday today, but on Monday, we picked the car up on, was it Tuesday? No, Wednesday. Picked the car up on Wednesday, but Monday I was sorting stuff out with Dad for his old car and stuff for the new car, and it took a lot longer than we was expecting it to take. So instead of getting any of the next 3 drawers done, I basically got nothing done on Monday, and it's been kind of bugging me a little bit, but also in line with trying to break from the norm on a Friday of sitting there, perhaps do a bit of gaming, stay at the same 4 walls, watch a few movies. I thought there was something about me today. I just had a bit of an itch. No, it wasn't my arsehole. So I had a bit of an itch to get out and do something. So I decided very early on, actually, that I was going to come over to my parents today and get this the next 3 draws started. It'd be the last 3 draws, because what I'm thinking is if I can get these sanded and a coat of varnish on them today, that's all the drawers with 1 coat, and then on Monday I can start on the base or the door of the base unit. But the door's going to be a bit of a fiddly little bastard, and I have not been, like, I'm not very dexterous at the moment. I mean, look, cut my fucking finger, so my hands aren't working properly. And with the door, it's going to need a bit of hand sanding, so I don't think I ain't going to be able to do that today. Doubtful I'll be able to do it Monday, so I'll probably start on the actual base unit, hopefully on Monday. And once that has been sanded down, then it is only the door left to sand. But with the door, well, basically I was going to treat the base unit the same as the drawers, where I'm going to get it all sanded down, and then get 1 coat of varnish on it, and then I'll do the door until that's got 1 coat of varnish on it. That way everything then has 1 coat of varnish on it. And all I'll be left with is the last couple of coats on the front of the drawers and a couple more coats on the actual base unit, which I must admit I'm really looking forward to making a start on that, because it is in really bad condition. It's definitely a bit rough around the edges, shall we say. So I'm really looking forward to sanding that down and bringing it back to life, and that is obviously what the purpose of me doing this is. It's bringing things back to life, because it has helped bring me back to life a little bit, and it's odd. I find myself, I used to be a very social person a long time ago, and then I kind of went into a bit of a shell. But then when I started getting ill and I became very socially uncomfortable. I'd lock myself away, and even if I was in a room full of people, I wouldn't really talk to anyone. Whereas now, I do tend to at least converse. So yeah. But it's also odd, because I've spent so long living life in a certain way that stuff I'm doing now doesn't seem right in many ways. I mean, it sounds weird to say that, but because it's not the norm of what I've had for the last 3-4 years, it's odd. And because it's odd, it's unusual. Because it's unusual, it doesn't feel right. So that's why it doesn't feel right. But at the same time, I think I need to be prepared to open myself up a little bit. I mean, my brother Steve comes round once a week, which has been really helpful. And to be honest, the really enjoyable part of that is that he brings his daughters round, or a couple of his daughters round. So I get to see them quite often, whereas I pretty much only ever saw them on a birthday, and even then I had to be reminded on the day that it was their birthday. So I'm trying to be a lot more aware of what is going on in the world. I mean, to put it into perspective, I've lived in my apartment for, since 2015, it's 2019 now. I lived in my apartment since then. For the first year, I had a neighbour he literally spent 1 day a week in his apartment. That was it. So I never saw him. And that was perfect for me. And then after about a year, he moved out, and a new guy moved in. Seems to be a really nice guy. But in 3 years? 3 years? Is it really been 3 years? Fucking hell. Well, no, it can't be that. 2 years. We've had 2 Christmases. I've probably only really had a conversation with him 3 times, and one of those was not yesterday, Thursday. Hang on, yesterday was Thursday. It wasn't Thursday. was Wednesday. It was Wednesday. When I was in the co-op, happened to spot him and asked him if he wanted a lift back. And he said yes, so we had a bit of a chat. But other than that, I mean, I keep myself to myself and he keeps himself to himself, which works for me. He probably thinks I'm fucking weird though, because I'm hardly ever out. So it doesn't stop him and his missus, well, it doesn't stop his missus from screaming at the top of her voice, but there you go, fair play to him. It's a good job I've got a decent set of headphones for doing gaming with. I don't get jealous at all, bastards. No, I'm happy for him. And so yeah, that kind of shows how sort of locked away I've been. So even doing things like doing this bit of woodwork, it's getting me out of my comfort zone, giving me something to do, and it's something that I've enjoyed doing, and I'm addicted to it as well. I think, like, I want to get it finished, but I know I can't rush it. But my dad has actually offered, he said to me the other day, he said if he was able to find an antique woodworking workshop course, would I be interested in going on a short course, like a day course or a 3-day course. And I'm interested because there's a lot I don't know, but at the same time I don't know if I'm interested in knowing everything, or if it was like a 3-day course. I don't even know if I'd be able to do a 3-day course. I mean, to put it into perspective, when usually on a Monday when I'm done here, I'm fucked for 3 days. So how I would be able to do 3 days in a row, I don't know, because I can't do it at the moment in my own leisure time. Let alone paying someone to teach me stuff. So I don't know whether I wouldn't want it to be a waste of money. Because my dad has offered to pay for it, but I wouldn't want it to be a waste of money. But he has said that given the work that I have done so far, my brother owns a shop, and a friend of his buys and sells antique furniture. And there's a guy that lives not far from my parents that used to do a bit of refurbishment work for him, but he doesn't do it anymore. And my dad was saying that, well, if I learnt some of these techniques that I don't know, learnt some of the things I don't know, then maybe I'd be able to pick up the odd bit of work from my brother's friend. But I don't know if I want to do that. Partly because I don't know if I'd be good enough. Partly because I wouldn't want any pressure on me. That wouldn't help. I mean, my dad is saying that there wouldn't be any pressure. There's no time scales on it, but I would feel pressure. And it's one of those things as well where I'm doing this for my own personal mental state, in all honesty. As I've said a few times, fixing these up is fixing me up. But if I was to take it into a different level where that's not the purpose is to get paid while I do it, would it change the mindset? And if I end up in a situation where I was like, well, I don't want to do that anymore, then it'd be a waste of money having paid for the course, except for the fact that I potentially would have learnt some techniques that I don't know about. So I don't know. I'm a bit confused about what to do on that one. Now, for anyone that was like may watch these videos, I doubt people will. I mean, I haven't released any of the videos yet. I am thinking of releasing the videos. I was just going to do it all in one big video, or not one big video, all in one, which wouldn't be a very big video, but unfortunately it'd be fucking about 4 hours long. So what I'm actually thinking of doing is just releasing like a video on one day, then do another video of another day and stuff like that. So if that is what I've done, this is the point where I've decided that that's probably the way that I'll do it. So if you've been watching this expecting to see like the camera showing me doing sanding and stuff like that, then sorry, that's not what these videos are about. Yes, the purpose of these videos is to show basically the before and after, but it's also about what it's doing for me or how I'm feeling. A bit like, I don't know whether you'd call it a vlog or a blog or whatever it fucking is. I'm no good with terminology. I understand yes, no, and get the fuck off me. Not tonight, you bastard. Okay. But yeah, so there we go. Anyway, I've had a bird sausage cob. There's 2 more in the car for my mum and dad. But if they don't have them soon, because they're not here yet, if they don't have them, I think I might have to fucking eat them. Spent a bit of time with the dogs. Well behaved. So yeah, so in a second I'm going to crack on with these last 3 drawers and hopefully get them 3 finished, and then we're on to the base unit. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to getting onto that. Interestingly as well, obviously I've been talking to my friend James recently, who did a little bit of woodworking a few months ago, and I was sort of giving him some advice and tips and stuff like that. And I've been saying to him recently, like, well, I said to him at the time, I says, now that you finish that, you'll get the bug. You'll want to do the next thing, and you'll want to do the next thing. And he pretty much did exactly the same as me, which was, yes, he wanted to do the next thing, but then he didn't know what to do, and then didn't really do anything. So that's basically exactly the same as what I did. I got the itch back pretty quick, and luckily for me, I had something that I could go, right, I'm gonna crack on with that. James, I don't think has had that possibility, but he's definitely had the itch, and I have been saying to him recently, like, yeah, you should do it. It helps take your mind off things, especially if you've got shit going on in your life. Having something that you can physically touch, like I do here, I can physically feel the effects of what I'm doing, and I think that has a profound effect. Whereas if I was just doing something, let's say I was reading a book that had an effect on me, yes, it would have an effect, but it's not the same effect as, okay, imagine reading a book about driving down the road and coming across a car crash, and there's blood everywhere, there's body parts everywhere. It'd be horrific, it'd be horrible to think of. But if that actually happened in real life, you drove down the road and there was a car crash, and that would be much more of an effect, because it's not your imagination picturing it, it's actually fucking there. You can see it, you can touch it, you get physically affected by what you see or touch. So yeah, so even little things like, for anyone that's worked with wood, you'll know what I'm on about here. The feel of how smooth the wood gets. Because when you've been doing sanding, you're roughing up the wood a bit. But when you've sanded it down nice and smooth, that feeling you get on your fingertips of, you feel it, it's rough and horrible. You feel it, it's lovely and smooth. It's a physical, oh, that's nicer. And it probably releases some endorphins or something. But anyway, right, I'm going to crack on. I've waffled on for 18.5 minutes, so we'll see how we get on today. Okay, so I'm at the end of today, Friday, and I have finished the last 3 drawers. Well, I say finished, I've got their 1 coat on. You say I've not done the backs, but I'm not bothered about them. Yeah, so they've got their 1 coat on, and I am absolutely fucking beat. Yeah, so I am absolutely fucking knackered. I mean, what's the time? I think it's about 8 o'clock, 7:30. So I've been here for quite a while. It's getting cold as well. So I am done for today. My back has gone on me. But a little bit like one of the videos I did a few weeks ago. I knew I could feel my back. Obviously, it was bad to start off with, but it was getting worse and worse. And there was a point where, to be honest, I should have stopped. But in the past, I probably would have done. But one of the things that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to not give up. So when I'm feeling like, oh, maybe I should just stop, I was like, no, I won't. I'll keep going. I'll get this bit done, and I'll suffer the consequences later and tomorrow and the day after. But with the pain and the tiredness, there's also a sense of, bloody hell, I'll be able to twiddle this soon. Maybe not. Yeah, so with all of the pain, I don't know if you'll hear my back cracking. Oh. Yeah, with all the pain and the tiredness, there is a sense of achievement. I have achieved what I set out to do today, which means that once they dry, so hopefully from the next time I'm here, I can crack on with the base. And that bit is probably going to show the biggest transformation. I mean, I can't really show it you now because it's got all the other drawers on it. So yeah, that will, I think, be the biggest visual transformation. I mean, interestingly enough, I was looking back through some of the pictures and stuff like that, because I'd had a look at the top of the base, which I did that, like I put its one coat on some time ago. And when I looked at it, I was like, well, does it look any better? I can't tell. It wasn't until I actually looked at the picture that reminded me of what it looked like before that I was like, yeah, oh yeah, it does look a hell of a lot better. So next time I'm gonna have to find somewhere to put these drawers, because they need not touching now. Also, I've got one of the drawers that's already dry that I did a few weeks ago. When ultimately it looks pretty good. I mean, it is meant to be a darkish, and this is only from one coat. And I mean, to compare what it looked like before, it was worse than that, right? Now, obviously, I haven't done the bottoms of the drawers or the insides, to be honest, because they don't need doing. And to be honest, I'd probably be tempted to put some kind of liner in there, or not necessarily a liner, maybe some kind of foam. I don't know. It depends on what my parents want to use it for. But yeah, I mean, considering that how it looks, it does look quite dark and quite nice. So, but what I'm going to do, I mentioned early on about the join. I can't remember what the name of this particular join is, but everyone that has seen this in person has gone, oh bloody hell, it's got that joint, has it? Oh, that'd be good, that. So, well, and the interest, right, I found out, right, that my dad bought this unit. He went into a shop. I mean, he was young, right? He'd have been at university, I think he said he was. So we're talking like over 50 years ago. And he went into this shop, I think it was like a woodworking shop or a metalworking shop. And the owner had this unit and was throwing it, was going to get rid of it, and sold it to my dad for a £5. Now, in them days, a £5 would have been quite a lot of money. And well, that's quite a lot of money now. But for this to be, I mean, it's well made and it's out of mahogany. I mean, if you were going to make this brand new now, or have this made for you brand new now, it would probably be in the multiple of hundreds of pounds. I mean, this is not going to be of that value once I'm finished with it, because it's not a perfect restoration, and it's not really a restoration, it's just to bring it back to life a bit. But it will look better. But anyway, the front of this, don't chip it, Dave, the front of this is going to be having another 2 coats of stain, right? But the sides and bottom and top are not going to have any more coats of stain. And the reason for that is I wanted a change of colour in these joints, but also I don't want to be going and adding loads of stain and varnish on the top and bottom, because these are effectively the runners. So what I've done is, it wasn't easy to pull the drawers in and out. So what I've done is I've taken quite a bit of wood off the top and the bottom, and I'll do the same with the actual base, so that the drawers will hopefully go in and out nice and smooth. But what I'm going to do before I go home is I want to be able to put stain on this edge and just in these notches, right? I do not want to stain this bit. So what I need to find out is whether masking tape will stick to it for a period of time, a long period of time, and be able to be peeled off without taking any of the stain off. See, that's something I just don't know. And there may be a better way to do it, but I'm thinking of using masking tape because that's what I've got to hand. So what I'm actually going to do is the backs of the drawers, I have also stained the backs of the drawers. So what I'm going to do before I go home tonight is on one of the drawers, maybe this one, I'm just going to stick a little bit of masking tape and I'm going to leave it. And then when I come back, I might put 2 on actually, and then when I come back on Monday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 days, if I'm back in 3 days, I'll peel one off. And if it takes the stain off, then I know if I'm going to put tape on here, it can only be on there for a very short period of time. If it doesn't take any stain off, then I know I'm okay for at least 3 days. And then I will leave the bit of tape until the next Monday, and then take that off and see if it pulls some stain off. I mean, if it was paint, I think it would. But because it's stain, I'm not sure it will, because the stain is effectively, the stain isn't going onto the wood, the stain is soaking into the wood. So, I mean, this is something that if I went on the course that my dad was on about, it's something that I would probably learn. I'd probably learn a very good way of doing it. But yeah, so I'm going to be looking at, I'm not going to do the back bits because there's a few up here, I'm not bothered about them. It's just these front bits to remember from the first videos, or if you've not seen them, go and look, to get that difference in colour. So I'm going to end up with a much darker front than I am sides, and that will match to the original design of the unit. Okay, so yeah, so I'm fucked. So I'm going to go stick a bit of tape on here, and then go and say hello to my mum and dad because they're back now. Play about with the dogs for a little while, and then go home and get myself some dinner because I am starving. Excuse me. Yeah, so I'm absolutely exhausted, but I don't know if it sounds stupid. Does it sound? I mean, for people that may not understand the situation that I've been in, it may sound stupid. Like, because I was going to say, at least being exhausted and in pain and tired, there's been a good reason for it, which is I've been productive today. Now, for anyone that doesn't understand, I always feel pain and tired and exhausted, but the rest of the time, it's not like I've done something to feel that way. It's just the way that I am all the time. So doing this, I come into doing bits of this fully aware that it's going to hurt, and fully aware that I ain't going to be able to do much for the next few days, which is why I went food shopping yesterday. Right, see you next time.